What is going on, y'all? Welcome to another news package breakdown. Today we're going to be taking a look at an Al Jazeera piece from the inauguration. It's shot by Raul Gellago Abellan. He's a Spanish journalist and filmmaker. He's been all over, from Associated Press, Channel 4, New York Times, Washington Post, and won multiple awards from the RTS and beyond. So let's dive in, and we're going to see what makes this piece so good. And we're going to see a lot of faces. And it's basically what can we make out of a story where there's not really a lot happening, because everybody's got to be outside of the inauguration ceremony, and he's using faces and scenery around to really create a compelling story. Okay, let's jump in. All right, so we're going to start with some faces and some street level stuff. We have the military coming in from the White House, and we got some really cool shots that come in through the middle and the end. But let me just start here, and let's see what we can make of these shots. So first, I want to even break in this first shot. I'll just play the beginning a little bit here. So I just want to stop there because that's something I noticed in terms of the edit. Why we pick these shots, you see? So right from the top, you have lovely faces that are lined up here and a great spotlight. You see, when you line up faces, he's brought this movement in that you'll see here. That just allows a little bit more movement and makes it a bit more interesting than just a row of military faces. Okay, all right, let's move along. Okay, so our next shot. Okay, now you'll see this a lot in pieces from Raul, where he has these really nice low shots, and you see he uses a shallow depth where our foreground is out of focus, have some spot of sharp focus, and then into softness again. And once again, this is something that he did in our Hong Kong piece that we reviewed. I'll leave that up here. But that he's using these lines of perspective where he's always drawing the viewer into the frame, because in this thing we have just a two-dimensional space. We cannot see 3D, so we have to create interest, to create some depth, and that's the one way he does it. Is he's making these lines to show that you can go into the frame, to look into the frame. Okay, let's move forward a bit. Okay, so we have our soldiers marching. So this is a shot that's really compelling to me, and this is where it comes down to knowing your camera and getting off of automatic and getting into a manual exposure, because you're exposing for the white on the building here, and everything is just going to pass through here. As soon as you lock off the level here, this is the level you want to go for, everything else is easy, because everything is going to come in front of that shot. You have our trees that are silhouetting over here, and just the right amount of light and dark. You have probably a light source here from a street lamp coming down on the back, and that's what's keeping our interest on this perfectly exposed white. And you see, this would be a very hard news piece to sell, because in the last one we covered from the when the Trump supporters marched on Capitol Hill, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of drama. But what do you do when it's quiet? It's not much going on. And Raul has done exactly that by creating moody shots around this story.
I tell you that the future of this country has never been better.
So it's all mood, it's all feel. Okay, this is basically a postcard of that day without necessarily needing a recorded audio voice track or any spectator comment. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, we're at dawn now. It's DC. Some homeless in the street getting ready. Okay. Black Lives Matter flag. Marine One. This is the helicopter taking President Trump out. Now, this is what is so important in terms of news. This is not something you can ever say, hey, please come back and fly the helicopter out again because I didn't press record or I missed a shot. This, you need to be ready, and it all comes down to pre-production. When is the helicopter going to fly? Which direction is it flying from? Where is it flying to? And from that, Raul would have set his tripod up and been ready to capture this frame to get this, because you need that shot. So it all comes down to your pre-production here. Okay. So great. Helicopter taking off. Police, National Guard are moving forward. Waiting around, making sure everything's fine. Okay, we got family on bikes, just a couple holding each other, embracing. And this is what I mean. You don't need to hear them say how they're feeling that day. You're just giving that moment of expression. And even in this shot, he's one setting up the depth. You have our foreground, which is in focus, middle ground and background, all in the same shot, nicely framed, and keeping that interest for the viewer. Okay, let's move forward a bit. Okay, people on their phone. Okay.
Of the United States. So help you God? So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Okay, so that's Joe Biden's inauguration hearing, and that's what you want. A nice bit of emotion without intruding, coming from a distance, and just keeping tight on the face. This young lady is obviously emotional over the new president, Joe Biden. Okay, let's move forward a bit. And you see here's that shot again. He does this a couple times now. Our low shot, beautiful. You're changing perspective. We're not used to seeing this. This is why it's interesting. I'm going to pull back to our first one here. You see? I've seen this a couple times now with roll shots, and it's a really beautiful way of changing the frame and keeping the viewer interested. That's the name of this game. Audience attention is not always high. On news, online, this is an online piece. And boom. You're keeping the change, keeping the perspective moving. Okay, some American flags flying. Great faces. Everybody once again listening to the phone, watching it live. And then here, one American flag blowing slowly to keep that mood. What says it more than this shot to tell you what's going on that day?
Has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. Much to repair.
Once again, police helmets. 1, 2, 3. And also you see the one that he's chosen, he could have chosen any frame, but he's laddering out the heads. He's always thinking about what is the most compelling and interesting frame here. Not just, here's 3 police. You want to find the 3 police that are creating the most compelling image. And that's what he's done here. Okay, let's move forward a bit. You see, because exactly, he could have, here's the wider shot. He could have picked these 3. But instead for his shot, he thoughtfully picked these 3, which creates something more visually pleasing. Okay, let's move forward. Empty streets of DC. Okay. Okay, it's all, by the way, all this is soft lighting. And then finally here we got to some harsh lighting. I guess it's a bit more midday now. Okay, so, and here's the other side. We have our investigate ballot malarkey. So this is obviously somebody who doesn't believe that the election ballots were fair. Okay, and we have and that's a nice way of showing a sign here. We have our pan up, and then a close-up shot of his face.
Civil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our heart.
So it's a nice ladder there. Okay, so we're going panning up to this man's face, then to the right, see the woman's face, pan down to her sign. Very nice effect.
If.
Okay, let's move forward a bit. Okay, now we have Joe Biden talking about Kamala Harris.
Vice President Kamala Harris, don't tell me things can't change.
Okay, so now we're coming to the end now, and this is this is second to last shot here, but it's great to show this this face mask with Biden Harris on it. I mean, what summarizes this year more than that? You have the COVID-19, people wearing masks, and now the election that has been so contested this year. And I just want to talk about this frame. He's filled up our whole frame with her face. Looks beautiful that she's standing out, and it's sharp, and we have soft focus in the back with our police back here. Beautifully shot. Okay, Biden for president flag. And then we go out. All right, so that does it for this breakdown. This is about creating mood, creating something where there's not a whole lot going on. It's everyone's calm, everybody's suspenseful, but you're still crafting beautiful shots and creating mood. That's what the main thing about it is, mood. All right, so I hope you all got something out of it. Please like the video below. It helps YouTube circulate this to more people, and I hope we all learn something together. Okay, thanks a lot, y'all. Have a good one.